The topics and opinions expressed on the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4WN Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4WN Radio, its employees, or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4WN Radio.
Hi, everybody. I'm going to take my jacket off here. I was outside. It's chilly out there in Florida, but we are in here in our comfortable little office and ready to go. Get ourselves tucked in here and we'll be ready. Okay. I can't quite get myself together. All right, what's going on here? I'm on the wrong side. Okay. All right, everybody. I'm here, and it's Betty Ray with Raphael. And today we are going to have to talk about what's happened this past week. And so, unfortunately, I can't tell you about it because I'm so upset about the attack on our most sacred of places and the Capitol building when our elected representatives were going to confirm that Biden is indeed the president-elect. We had these people that at the encouragement and of Donald Trump. I don't even want to call him our president. I am so upset and disgusted with him that I don't even want to call him a president anymore. He does need to be put out of office immediately. He is a danger to our government. And we just cannot tolerate this. We cannot. He's already calling upon his Proud Boys. What's that to be proud of? To do what they did to our Capitol and to the people there. And then talk about hanging Vice President Pence. This is incredible. Incredible. I honestly am speechless. But I'm going to ask Raphael if the Archangel will come through and talk to us today. I need calming down right now. And I know that the Archangel can do that as well. So, okay. Give me a couple of breaths while I calm myself down, because when you want to talk to your own guardian angel, these are the steps you have to take. What I'm going to do right now to bring Raphael through. And that is, you breathe deeply, way down into your gut. And you relax your shoulders. And then you let your spirit free. And when I do that, I ask Raphael to fill the space that my spirit, in leaving my body, has given to the Archangel. And so I give thanks to God for this wonderful being of light that it has sent to me. And I ask it to come forth this day to speak about the tragedy that has happened to our country. And so I am quiet. We are Raphael, and we welcome each of you. If not today, then another day. But we hope that some of you are here directly to speak with us and to know that we are speaking through this body, this person, this soul called Betty Ray. We have agreed to do this many, many years ago. This soul, Betty Ray, her purpose has been for this to happen in her later years. And now we are here to speak directly to you about what is happening in your government. Your president has had the influence of your Russian president, and he has been influenced to try to make a coup so he can become as Putin and be president forever. But it does not work in your democracy. You have said who will be the next president. And because your president now, Donald Trump, is just a beginner soul, he does not have the wisdom to know when he is defeated. This is a time for each of you to let go of your fears and anxieties and to raise up your consciousness into joy. For this is the time of times when that raising of consciousness will be felt throughout the entire world. As the new president steps into office with his new cabinet, a cabinet that Donald Trump never had, this new cabinet will bring experts to their field of expertise, and they will help to run the government as it was meant to run. We know that your anxiety about this time and what this president could possibly do, he is already calling for his Proud Boys to be at all of the capitals in every state to cause disruption. This is sedition, my dear friends. This is called sedition and is why the government now, your elected officials, have called for impeachment. We call upon both the House and the Senate to listen to this new wave that says if Donald Trump is not removed from office, there will be many uprisings that are sent forth from the mouth of Trump. Now we know that he is no longer allowed to use Twitter to reach his followers. So he has to get up in front of everybody in a news conference and speak out, which makes him even more vulnerable to impeachment. If he opens his mouth in any way to say that they need to stand by and stand down until he calls them, then he is to be taken from office as an impeachable offense. It's called sedition, dear friends. What happened at the Capitol is inexcusable for any American to devalue their government and their holy tabernacles of government that have been there for ages and honored and respected, and to have people sit in in Mrs. Pelosi's chair and to put his feet up on the table is like going into your church and desecrating your altar. Would you allow that? Would you allow someone like that man to come into your church and desecrate your altar and as much as spit on your belief system? Americans believe in democracy, and other countries are watching this country to see if we will survive this president. And so we say unto each of you, be at peace and know that you indeed will survive. You indeed will survive. For the incoming president, in the form of a soul that is much more advanced, called Joe Biden Jr., he is a man of peace, and he will bring about peace not only for the United States, but for the entire world. He is a peace seeker. This is where you need to turn your thoughts away from anything that is negative and to instead send and focus your thoughts on good. See this country being safe and secure with new benefits to you. For when Biden gets into office, he will see about a new deal for you. He will see about giving you money to help you through this tremendous time with the virus that is killing thousands of people. He will be the one to organize with his cabinet to organize the vaccine that will help people to be safe from this virus and any streams of it. You need to trust this, which is why Ray has given us to speak with you. We are called Archangel Raphael, for we are a healer. We are the green ray that comes from God to send forth perfect peace and harmony and healing to the entire planet. We do not have favorites, dear friends. We are knowing that each of you are a fragment of God's energy, and each of you have choices to make as to how you will proceed from this moment forward. Will you proceed with anger and hatred in your hearts? Or will you allow the divine energy to fill you up with peace and knowingness that divine order will be restored in our government? It will take trust. It will take a knowing that all will be well. We can see this, dear friends. If anybody is listening, let us know that you are there, because Ray needs that certification that somebody is listening to what we are saying. But we are using the voice of Ray to speak to you as the Archangel Raphael, who is here on this planet, not just in Ray at this moment, but in many other channelers who are bringing forth our energy, just as the Christ can be with many people at the same time, so too can we, the archangels. We do not have the time-space element that you deal with. We can be in many places at once because we are the energy and the Spirit of God that is speaking to you right now. And we say to you, be at peace. Let go of your anger and your fear and your anxiety, for it continues to stir the hornet's nest. And this is what we need to get rid of. That anger that will be unleashed in some way or another if we are not able to silence this president that is now creating this chaos. And to silence him may mean to take him out of office in handcuffs. For we have seen this in our showing visions to Ray, that Donald Trump would be taken out of the White House in handcuffs. Now, Ray has interpreted it as possibly just a symbolism, but we say to you now, if Donald Trump continues in this path, he may be forcibly removed from the White House in handcuffs. And so we say to you, ask for peace. Allow peace to enter you first, for you are the energy by which stirring up the pot or calming it down. If you are sending forth anger and a need for revenge, then you are creating as much chaos as though you were there in person. Dear ones, you do not realize how you can influence the situation without even being there. We come to this day to say to you, be at peace. By a few more days, your new president will take over, and those who have violated your capital will be brought to justice. Those who say they are Americans and yet fly the Confederate flag which shows that they are not Americans. They are rebels. And they are proud of it. For young and very, very young baby souls, they want to bring their will upon others by force. That's what baby souls do. And unfortunately, your president now is a very, very baby soul. He does not have this sentient experience in his soul to know the consequences of his actions, but he is getting those consequences as we speak. And it will be for other countries to see our government, as you call it, the United States of America, your government, will be a free and voted upon government. No tyrant can take over because you will not allow it. And so, with these words, we ask each of you to be at peace at this time. And rather than put forth the energy of fear and anxiety for your incoming president, instead send your imagination to surround him with angels, to protect him from anyone who would try to do him harm, and to any of the people who are trying to bring peace to your government. Imagine that angels are descending upon the planet. Call upon us and all the archangels. By your giving us permission to move and to act, we can do so. And so, therefore, we need many of you to listen and to pay attention to the fact that you are a co creator with God and you can bring peace to this planet. We've come here to bring you peace, to say to you that the archangels are waiting for you to ask them for your help. And so we say to you, be at peace, and we will give you back to Ray. I'm back. Dear friends, it is my blessedness, or I don't know how to phrase it, great blessing that it has been given to me to channel this great energy of God called the Archangel Raphael. We've been doing this for, 60 years now, perhaps even more than that. I just don't remember. We have been doing readings for people all over the planet. We do not advertise. We do not try to some way or another take any advantage for this. Here's a question that just came in. Does it take a lot from you to have another spirit in your body? I can understand your question. But when that other spirit is an archangel, rather than taking a lot out of me, as it would be if it were, we'll say, my aunt or my uncle, if they were to try and take over my body, that would take a lot of my energy. But you need to understand that the archangel's energy is so powerful, he has to dim it down, so to speak. Or otherwise, when he came in, I'd probably implode. He's got too much energy. And so he knows the exact amount of energy to bring forth his essence so he can speak through me. And so, no, I'm energized. I am filled with joy and I want to laugh out loud. You can do this too, dear friends. You can. I'm seeing these questions here. Does it get crowded inside when others are in you? No, because I have exited. I'm in a little globe out on the right-hand side of my head. It's like a ball of light. That's me. When I exit, I'm this little ball of light just hovering there. And when Raphael exits, my spirit goes back in through the top of my head and just fills me up again. You see, your spirit energy is not made of time and space like your planet. It's vibrating so much faster that if you were to see my spirit, you would see me as Betty Ray in this outfit, but you would see through me because I would be a ghost to you. That's what happens when you raise your vibrations such that you are out of your body and traveling out of your body. You look just like you do right now in the clothes you have on, but you're vibrating so much faster, people can see through you. So I hope that answers your questions. And how many beings, I think you're trying to say, not beginnings, how many beings can enter you? Only one, and only at the permission from my Archangel Raphael. So you need to know that you have to give permission, your soul, for anyone to enter your body and try to push you out. That's called possession, and that's what you're afraid of. But this is an entirely different thing. This is called trans-channeling, and it means that I channel my energy into my own spirit body, and my spirit body leaves my body in this little ball of energy and allows Raphael to come through. Now, Raphael is what I call my gatekeeper. He will not let any other entity into my body without his permission, and you have a gatekeeper as well. So, no, only one can enter your body, and only with the agreement with your soul that was before you were even born. So this is not, nobody can just take over your body. You need to be understanding that you have guardian angels and you have archangels that are protecting you. So you don't have to worry about that. All right, so I think I've got that. Let's see if we need to go down anymore. Any other new questions? So I think that's all. That was the only one that's come in. I'm open to more questions, but know that this trans-channeling is not anything new. This has been going on for centuries upon centuries, where some people call them saints, where they are lifted up and they are like levitating or whatever you want to say. Well, I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I am no saint. I am a simple retired music and English teacher. And and I have simply made this agreement apparently before I was even born, that I would come into this planet at this time and have to wait till my, oh, probably because I've been doing this for so many years now, probably my 20s when I started being so spiritual, because that's exactly what it is. I wanted to be a nun. I wanted to dedicate my life to God. And God said, no, we want you to be a mother of 4 children and sire 7 grandchildren. And so, with the help of my first husband, Tom, who is now in spirit, God bless him, we sired 4 beautiful children. And they have been a source of pride, even though I can't take pride on their decisions. But I am so blessed to have these 4 wonderful children who have been just a service to the world, every one of them. And so that was part of my destiny, if you will. And so, even though I would like to have dedicated my life entirely to God's will, I've always said that, not my will, but thine be done. And that has been my modus operandi, is that if it doesn't feel right, I will wait until it does. And so I think I've answered that one question. Please ask more if you have them, because you're here with me. Don't hesitate to ask any questions and I will answer them as best I can. But for what was talked about today, let's get back to that. We cannot have this kind of insurrection, and we cannot have a president that would propose it and encourage it. That is illegal, and that's why he's being impeached. A second time for the same president. That's unbelievable. But for him to do that, fortunately, he can't be on Twitter anymore. And if he does it in front of a newscast, he's going to have people put him on the spot. So he's kind of had to shut up a bit. And that's good. But we do know that that whole idea that the election was rigged is absolutely false. Raphael has verified this. This was a good and safe and honest election. There has been no fraud. I'll say that again. There has been no fraud in our electional process. It is honest and true that Joe Biden was elected by the people to be the next president of the United States. Ah, dear friends, you need to hold that thought and rejoice in it. For this is what Raphael meant when he said a long time ago, watch transparency in politics, and you will know it is the time of times to rejoice, because there will be a raising of consciousness. Now, what does that mean? That means that we're going to lift ourselves out of our fears and anxieties that glue us to the earth and not allow us to see clearly. It befuddles the mind. When we raise our consciousness out of fear and anxiety and give joy and thanks and to God for all the good that has been given to you, for each moment, your breath that keeps you here, for giving thanks every single day, you raise your consciousness. You get out of that anxiety and fear and all of those conspiracy theories that are out there. Those are simply to get you out of your sense of joy, which is where you create. And I have to hang up on this person that is calling me because I can't answer the phone right now. So I hope they call back. So if you are trying to reach me, please sign up here and make a comment. We are really waiting for your comments. And dear friends, it is good times coming. Okay. What kind of ringtone was that? I don't know. It was like a bugle call, wasn't it? Okay, but you can find it on your iPhone if you have one like I do. But it's loud enough so half the time I'm forgetting to put it. I don't have pockets all the time, so half the time I'm forgetting where it is, and it can tell me where it is. Now, back to where we were. We have had the most awful time with the attack on our Capitol, and we are hearing, and I'm not even going to repeat it, but we are hearing that this president is calling upon more people to do it again. This has to stop. This has to stop that bullies and anger can push forth their agenda above sane, calm, honest people. You cannot let a bully run this government. And that's what Donald Trump is, a bully. And he has gotten together all the bullies he could find because that's what they are. They're bullies. If they can't get it the normal way, if they can't use their vocabulary to express their needs, then by golly, we'll just punch our way through. Some of you have had relationships that are like that, and you've had to let them go. Good for you if you did. Don't tolerate a bully. Don't let somebody verbally beat you up, because verbal abuse is just as bad as physical abuse, if not worse, because there's no bruises to show that your soul has been bruised. And right now, the soul of our country has been bruised by the fists of this president who will not allow a simple, honest expression of our country to vote who we decide to be president. The votes have been counted, and we have seen that Joe Biden Jr. is the new president-elect. Now, you cannot just crash the party and try to take over like Donald Trump is trying to do. Our electoral college is the way we do things. And it has said that Joe Biden will be our next president. Now, to call upon the bullies of this country to overstep our democracy that we have honed and worked on and had laws to go with it and have justices and have our form of government that people can have a free and honest trial, to try and just throw that all out and just let the bullies take over? I don't think so. And so if you have had anybody that is trying to incite you to riot, try and talk them out of it. And if you have to, call the authorities and tell them what you've been hearing from this person. It is your duty to do this. We have to stop the bullies. All of you have known a bully in your life. If it wasn't in your childhood when there was the bully on the playground, well, sometimes you married one. And that bully can cause so much anguish because they really don't always have the best idea going. They just want it their way or the highway. And that's not a democracy. That's a dictatorship. And that's really what Donald Trump wants, is a dictatorship. He wants to emulate Putin. He wants to be president and emperor and every other name he can think of for the rest of his life. He has said this. He wants this. But he cannot have it because we are in a democracy, dear friends. Okay. More questions, everybody. Those of you that are here, you know my ringtone is just one of the many that I found on my iPhone. I do have an iPhone. And there's all other kinds, but I needed a bugle blowing to find my phone when it's someplace in the house I couldn't find it. So I've answered that question. And so let's again go back to what's happening this week because Donald Trump is calling for more violence. And that's why he needs to be taken out of office. He needs to be silenced as quickly as possible. We cannot solve our problems through violence. That does not work in any even one-on-one relationship. You cannot put a fist in somebody's chin and say, you're going to do it my way. Because if you did get them to do it your way, it wouldn't be the right way. You cannot enslave people with anger. You cannot enslave people by trying to be more powerful than they are. It doesn't work. It will backfire, as it is with Donald Trump. And when he is out of office, he will be prosecuted for all of the crimes that he has committed against the United States of America. And you are part of that, dear ones. Now, there are some of you, I'm sure, that are still Trumpers that have been brainwashed by all of this misinformation that has come through on all of the mediums that are out there. And believe me, this is false information that you have been brainwashed. You've been brainwashed. Look at it from the point of view. Is this a peaceful way to get an answer to something? If it is not, if it is a power move, if it is a way of forcing people to do it your way, then you know it's wrong. And so, come January 20th, we will have a new president and a new cabinet. A cabinet that is being selected for its expertise, not to pay somebody back a favor that they did for them, as this president has done. He has put into his cabinet people who were not qualified and didn't know what they were doing. And they have caused more problems than good. This is another sign of a dictator. Dictators want to get people to do things their way, and then they'll pay them back by either giving them money or by giving them power. It's all been about power, people. It's all been about power. So, more questions about what we're talking about here, and let us know who else is here today. Even if you can just give us a first name, we'd appreciate it. As you can see in the background, I still have my wreath up and my poinsettia over here. And you can see that I am keeping up my Christmas decorations for the energy of the Christ that it is giving off until after the inauguration. So I am using this energy, including this wreath behind me and my Christmas tree and all the poinsettias that I bought and have now got in my new screen room. I am using that to help make this energy of the transition peaceful. I am asking all the archangels, so do it with me right now, as you say to God, thank you, God, for sending the archangels to us. Thank you, God, for protecting our country from seditious acts that would overturn our government, that would try to bring forth the will of one person over the majority of people who have voted legally and honestly to have Joe Biden be our next president. Do not listen to the misinformation. Do not listen to the naysayers, to those who would take power by force. They are not on the side of good, the side of right. We ask each of you who are listening to this or will listen to this later to please listen to the divine peace and truth that is within you. Do not allow the negativity to cause you fear or anxiety, because that feeds the darkness. You see, when there is negativity in thought forms, when there is negativity in actions, that feeds the dark side. And the dark side is part of being on this planet. We have a dark side and we have a light side. And they don't mix. You know, they don't come together. They're constant polarities. They're constantly apart. And so when you are looking for an answer to a question, you need to raise your energy out of fear and anxiety, those dark emotions, and raise it up to a sense of peace and joy before you're going to get the truth. So if you believe that you can't get the truth because you have to get it from the news media, then you haven't learned how to get the truth from within you. When you have fear and anxiety about something that doesn't seem quite right, then it isn't quite right. And that's when you need to go back to the drawing board and ask your council of elders, these amazing souls that have graduated from their time on planet Earth and are now your guides. They are a group of old souls who are guiding you. Call upon your council of elders and then get very, very quiet. Breathe deeply, relax your shoulders, and ideas will pop into your mind. That's how they do it. They send it in idea form. They will not blabber at you in words. If you're hearing blabbering going on, that's you. That's you talking. If you get quiet and you get an idea, and we've talked about this, you know, we've talked about where do ideas come from? They come from God because they are the abstract form of energy. I'm sorry, I'm looking out my window and I have this squirrel that is climbing up one of my wind chime poles. I think he's half expecting to find some more bird feed and he's disappointed. He's gone back down, but he can't quite believe that he didn't find some bird feed. I've got bird feeds out, but they've got a shell and they can't get, and the squirrels can't get at it. And so, you know, a lot of times people are like that. They are climbing up trees and finding that the coconuts aren't there. So don't find yourself searching for something that isn't there. Okay, all right. I guess our time, how are we doing, Rebel? We still got time here. I see that, let's see, 39 minutes. That says that we probably have more time. Let's go back to what the purpose of this vision today is. To bring forth an archangel to give you truth, to give you peace and understanding in your heart that Joe Biden is a good man. He and Kamala Harris will bring peace not only to our country, but to the entire world. These two, this team, will reach out his hand to all of our governments and will also reach out a hand to anyone who wants to create havoc and will say, no, you cannot do this. We will resume our place as a leader in the entire world. Joe Biden is bringing healing to this planet. Trust that, dear ones. Raphael saw that Joe Biden was going to win long before we even knew he was going to run for office. We saw a good man coming and replacing Donald Trump. And when it became Joe Biden and we heard about all the things that people were trying to say against him, even what had happened with going to another country and trying to get them to speak out against the incoming nominee for president. Just look at that alone. How honest is that? How low can you get? Ah, dear ones, don't believe the negativity that you hear. It's coming from the source of darkness. It's coming from people who want to steal the election. It's coming from a man who is a baby soul, who is having a temper tantrum because he can't have his way, because our government is stronger than he is. And so send angels to every single capital of every single state. Have archangels guard that capital. So those who would try to follow the dictates of a dark president, a president of darkness rather than light, they will be thwarted. They will not be allowed to even think of more sedition. And so we will leave this because we need to help you to understand that you are a co-creator with God, dear friends. You are a soul that has a story to tell, and your story is important. And we will give here that you can email us at angelbettyray@gmail.com and ask for a private consultation with the Archangel. Right now, we are backed up and we won't be doing any readings, any new ones until February. But if you are interested, you know that you can eventually get to talk with the Archangel. You can also email us at angelbettyray@gmail.com. If you have a question that is simple, we can ask Raphael to answer it online in that manner. If it's a future question, will this happen or will that happen? We don't like to do that because you are the creator of your own life. You change your mind and your future changes as well. You are the creator that God has made you to be. It has given you free will to choose how you want your life to go. If you are going to draw energy from the dark side, which will make you feel anxious and upset, and it, then you're going to experience dark energy. You're going to experience anger and frustration. And I'm laughing because I've been experiencing anger and frustration because communication is broken down. And I don't even know if Mercury is retrograde, but I've been having the darndest time trying to get to where I need to go through the internet. And it's just been very frustrating. And so I have to keep calming myself down and taking deep breaths and not letting my shoulders get tense because that's what happens. And so I have to learn to practice what Raphael preaches. I don't always get it. I am a human being after all. And so, again, we say to each of you, you are the creator of your world. What you focus on actually becomes your future. For what you hold in your heart as being either good or bad, if you focus on it, you will experience it. That's how powerful you are. So be careful of your thoughts and particularly be careful of your emotions. Your emotions are the gas in the engine that drives an idea into a physical reality. Your emotions are the gas that drives the engine of an idea into physical reality. And so if you have anger and hate, that's gas in your engine. And it'll take you far, but it won't leave you in a comfortable spot. It will not leave peace in your heart. It will only leave more anger and frustration, for it just begets itself. So today, let this be the first day of the rest of your life. And let this day be the beginning of the peace and harmony in yourself that you create in your personal world by trusting in God and thanking Him every day that all your needs are met in every way. and every day. There are so many of you that are not realizing how powerful you are. When you think good thoughts, when you hold joy and peace in your heart, you will create amazing things. You will be inspired of how to solve problems. You will be raising your consciousness out of fear and anxiety to be at a point of energy where you can hear the energy of your angels and your counsel. So lift up your hearts, be at peace now, and know that the future is bright. When Joe Biden and Kamala Harris get into office, they are going to restore peace to our government. They are going to restore justice, and those who have violated our governmental places will be brought to justice. And so, again, we say to each of you, be at peace and know that you are a creator of your own world, but you are also sending that energy out into the world on the planet that you live. Your planet needs help. Your planet is in agony. The rainforests have been decimated because of greed, of people that wanted the lumber. They didn't realize that the overall consequences would cause us to have an imbalance in the ecological balance of our planet. They didn't know. We don't put blame on them because they didn't know, but they were motivated by greed and power. This has been the biggest motivation in our republic, in our politics, than anything else: greed and power. When we replace that with honesty and integrity and a sense of true, what's the word I want? Of being a true American, they will be looking out for this country, not for their own gain, not for what they can get out of this. That's where we need older souls in our government. And we are now getting that. We are now getting a balance in our democracy. And those who are in the dark side and trying to stop it will not succeed. Raphael guarantees this, that when the inauguration takes place and Donald Trump is removed from office, if he isn't before then you will see a light as though it has been a new moon that shines over our planet. For there will be shadows that will disappear. There will be light in the corners that were hidden in the dark. And we will find peace throughout the entire world because our democracy really works. And so, dear ones, you've asked about the ringtone on my phone. I hope you have some more questions that you can email us at angelbettyray@gmail.com. Hope you have your personal questions that you can share with us there. If you can't quite do it, it says a private chat of 4. I'm going to print on that and see. I don't see it. Nope. Okay, so we'll go back to comments. So I don't see any more new comments. So I hope that we have made a point here that by you sending divine energy and light to this United States of America, until you can see that our Statue of Liberty really means what it says, and those dear people who have tried to seek asylum will find asylum and peace and harmony from our country and be taken out of those cages and be reunited with their families. This was an atrocity that any spiritual, loving, God-filling person would never have done. This is not democracy. This is not compassion. This is a power play to say, I'm better than you are. I'm more powerful than you are. And so I can lock you up in a cage and you can't do anything about it. That's the bully on the playground. And we've had a lot of them lately. But that will change. and justice will come through, and more ways than you can imagine. And if you are listening to us and you still believe all of the misinformation and the lies that have been perpetuated on us through this last regime of 4 years, then there's nothing to save you from your own fate. And so we say to you, we send you angels to enlighten you, to raise your consciousness, because you are dwelling in darkness and fear, and that's not comfortable. So if you are still following this president because you believe all the conspiracy theories that he has wound around you, you are like being strangled by a vine of deceit.
Betty, we're past time.
God bless all of you. I was waiting for a signal from, okay. Come back again next week. Come on Thursday at 11 o'clock. And until then, God bless each of you.